Hello everyone, my name is Veritas, and welcome back to Destiny. Now, today's video is going to be pre-recorded. I do apologize for background noise. There is a fan going. I cannot help that. It is hot. So, Iron Banner, as you probably know, is back, has returned, and is around for about a week. So until next reset, you'll be able to get Iron Banner rewards and things like that for playing in the Iron Banner. Now, this is a match 1 of 2 that I recorded yesterday. I'll try to record some Iron Banner gameplay, because it is actually not that bad. I've gotten better at Crucible. Is essentially where I'm going with that. Now, it really comes down to having a good team, whether or not you win, but the loot at the end of this game was funny enough to have to basically put this video out just for like the loot feed at the end. So if you just want to see the end, go ahead and look at the loot feed. Skip to about 9.5 minutes in. Other than that, if you want to stick around and listen to me talk about Iron Banner, go ahead. So, Iron Banner is a week event that usually occurs in the last week of the month. It is a PvP or Crucible centric event in which level advantages are enabled, kind of like Trials of Osiris. So, using gear that isn't at least 300 is probably a bad idea. So Iron Banner, being a Crucible game mode, a Crucible event, rewards you with armors and weapons that are usually better in the Crucible. The armors and things available this week are boots, a helmet, an auto rifle, and a shotgun. People from Vanilla will remember the Felwinter's Lie shotgun that came out with rangefinder and I believe shot package. Rangefinder and something. It was an excessively overpowered weapon. It was the reason why Year 1 Crucible was so miserable, because Bungie has this tendency to put vendor weapons in the game, specifically Iron Banner weapons in the game, or Trials of Osiris weapons, that are exceedingly better, and almost, not even almost, but are completely overpowered in comparison to guns you can get elsewhere. I actually do like the Rage shotgun quite a lot, quite a bit. It's pretty fun, but you have to be in a very specific position to be using it. So I do prefer the Rage shotgun to most shotguns. I still don't like the Conspiracy Theory D. I think it's still overpowered, and that is an example of a gun that's overpowered from a vendor. You get the Conspiracy Theory D from doing Vanguard quest lines for Taken King. That thing, it rolls with rangefinder and some other perk, and it maxes out its range. The gun is excessive. In Crucible, the Conspiracy Theory D is overpowered. The range on that thing is maximum. The stability is pretty good. Impact's pretty good. That gun is just unnecessarily strong. Same thing with the 1,000-yard stare. The one you get basic from the Vanguard is actually pretty decent in Crucible. Aside from that, you can get 1,000 yards to roll from Cryptarch packages, Cryptarch engrams, just randomly dropping. But it seems like Bungie has this thing where they make vendor weapons almost better than guns you can get elsewhere, which has always been a problem. Take the Nerwin's Mercy, for example. Nerwin's Mercy was a pulse rifle from the last Iron Banner that dropped, that the vendor stock one is the best roll you can get in the game, almost. So it made it a little bit unfair. Now, this Iron Banner rolls around, and there's a new shotgun and a new auto rifle. So I don't really know how good those are in Crucible yet. I haven't gotten to them yet. I've heard the auto rifle is pretty decent. It looks like the one that comes stock is pretty good. But other than that, I don't really know how the shotgun's going to perform. With the shotgun nerf that happened, with more movement speed, frames, slowdown, that kind of deal, not really sure how that's going to work out. However, I do know that the Invective is overpowered. I'm not entirely sure why the Invective is so strong, why it feels like it was unaffected completely by the shotgun nerfs. But the Invective is definitely a gun that, in playing with yesterday, I noticed is a little bit too strong. Now, I'm not calling for nerf the Invective, but I am calling for more of a careful look at how you change guns around. Now, when they nerfed pulse rifles and nerfed shotguns and hand cannons and stuff like that, when they made the weapon changes recently, I was pretty much sure that the Hawksaw and Nerwin's Mercy were going to be so destroyed by it that they would be useless in Crucible. Not the case. Not at all the case. I had been using, up until a few games before this, a Mida multi-tool primary and some sort of secondary weapon. I was actually sniping a lot more with my 1,000-yard. And it was okay. It was fine. It was doing well. But I switched to the Hawksaw so I could use an exotic secondary. And the Hawksaw combined with the Invective or Chaperone, it feels like nothing has changed. It feels like nothing changed if you use those two guns. Now, I'm pretty sure that the pulse rifle change has not affected PvP to the point where it's noticeable. I do know that the Grasp of Malok was changed so slightly that it only lost 1 damage. The rest of them, I mean, the time to kill on Hawksaw and Nerman's Mercy is definitely slower, but it's nowhere near in line where it needs to be. Hawk, fucking thing, cross the map. Anyway, so it doesn't really feel to me like that much has changed in Crucible, especially when it comes to Iron Banner. So if you are not at least light 260, I would not go into Iron Banner. Especially this time around with how laggy the servers have been, how much rubber banding, how much lag, how much glitching, how much server instability there has been, and on top of all of that, how Bungie tends to, or seems to tend to, match up teams of 4, 5, and 6 players up against solo players. I've run into more, playing solo this Iron Banner, I've run into more teams of 5 or 6 than I ever have before. And this Iron Banner has also been the laggiest. It's up there with, if vanilla players will remember with me, there was an Iron Banner around when it first launched. It might have been like the second or third one. It might have been around December or January of last year that was so laggy. It might have been the first one, honestly, but it was one of the first few that was so laggy that you could almost not play it. It was consistently rubber banding, consistently nomading, consistently red bars, glitching into walls, cross mapping, teleporting, all that kind of stuff, consistently. And those were dark times for servers. And it feels like this is what this one is again. This one feels like it's paying homage to the days of old when the servers were so unable to contain it. So that's kind of unfortunate. So I do hope one day we get dedicated servers, hopefully for Destiny 2, when they leave behind 360 and PS3. When they leave behind last generation consoles, maybe we'll get dedicated servers. Hopefully. Maybe the Eververse can pay for dedicated server time. It's so bad. It's so excessively bad. And the problem is, lag on its own, you can kind of deal with, and stacked games you can kind of deal with. But when you have stacked games with lag, it's a problem. There was a game I didn't record yesterday that I could have sworn everybody on the enemy team was cheating. Like, not like in a fun, like, oh, he shot me through a wall, it must be lag compensation, but it genuinely felt like the people on the enemy team had God mode and could see through walls. It felt like late time or late term Modern Warfare 2. It was that bad. It was severely terrible. And for Iron Banner to come around now, right after Christmas, when new players are jumping in, it was the same problem I had with Refer a Friend originally. Refer a Friend originally came around when there was nothing to do in Destiny. It was like, hey, come play this game, it's terrible. With Christmas coming and then Iron Banner coming, you almost want to make it so that this Iron Banner is the best one you can make it, and so far it has been one of the worst. And that to me is a flaw, a PR flaw, a developer flaw. They need to work on it, because Bungie, it's not us, it's you, in terms of connections. And that's all I really want to talk about. We need to get better servers for Iron Banner. We need dedicated servers in general. But other than that, that's the end of the game. So go out there, have fun on Iron Banner if you can. Get a team together to do it. The teams tend to work out better than solo play. It is back to control this time around. So hop out there, get some loot, have some fun, enjoy your Iron Banner experience, get those drops, and hopefully you get drops like this. So have a good time, everybody. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a rating. If you have anything about Iron Banner you want to talk about, go ahead and leave a comment below. And until the next video, have a great day, everyone.